Yeah, namaste. Welcome to another episode of Now Immerse podcast. So today we are going to continue our reading session. So today we are going to have the third session of our book reading of Maharanas, A Thousand Year War for Dharma. Hello, namaste. Okay, so before we start our third session of the book Maharanas, A Thousand Year War for Dharma, let me just share my screen and share the details where you can get this book. So here we go. So this is the website maharanas.com.ind. So this book is available in multiple languages and also in multiple currencies. If you are living in Australia, US, or somewhere else, you can also buy the book with your local currency. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just share the link of where you can buy the book in India, because people are primarily from India who watch us. But if you want, if you just go to maharanas.com, and you will be able to purchase your book in your local currency, whether it's Australian dollar or USD or even pound. So I would request everybody to do support the author, do support this book by buying the book, physical book. Also, I think you will also get a Kindle copy as well. So if you want, you can get that as well. But it's an earnest request to everybody. Okay, so it's very important for the authors to support the author so that they can write more books, and we can also read. So it works on both ways. So, on that note, we're going to start our reading, the third reading session of the book Maharanas, A Thousand Year War for Dharma. So, again, we have with us Shekhar, our guest trader. Namaste, Shekhar.
नमस्ते दादा, नमस्ते सबको, जो भी आज देख रहा है स्क्रीन। आज हम चैप्टर 3 चालू करने वाले हैं। इस गाथा का जो है हमारे महाराणा डायनेस्टी, जो महाराणा है वो किताब, इसके अंदर मेवाड़ डायनेस्टी के बारे में हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे और उनके गाथा के बारे में हम जानेंगे।
बिल्कुल। सो शेखर, किताब पढ़ने से शुरू करने से पहले क्या आप बताना चाहेंगे कि इस चैप्टर में ऐसा कुछ है जो हमको नई जानकारी मिलेगी इसके बारे में, ताकि जो सुनने वाले हैं वो थोड़े से रुक कर उसको सुने? कुछ ऐसा कुछ है इसमें सरप्राइज?
इसके अंदर बेसिकली क्या है कि जो हम बताते हैं ना कि दिल्ली के जो किंग्स है वो आए, रेड की, हरा के चले गए। तो वो केस नहीं था। जो नॉर्थर्न इंडिया के अंदर रेजिस्टेंस बहुत फियर्स थी, ठीक है? वो क्या होता था, उनको डिफीट करके उनको बार-बार हरा देते थे, पर प्रॉब्लम क्या होती थी कि उनको छोड़ देते थे ना, तो वापिस आ जाते थे वो लोग, ठीक है? तो उनको बहुत बार डिफीट किया गया है। तो ये क्या बताते हैं कि वो जो सेम जो हमारी कहानी होती है ना कि वो आए एक बार में, अब उनको वो नहीं बताते कि वो 20 बार पहले ट्राई कर चुके थे, 20 बार हार चुके थे। 21वीं बार एक बार मौका, अपॉर्च्युनिटी इस तरह रही कि वो लोग आ गए या फिर सक्सेसफुल रह गए। तो सेम कहानी यहाँ पे भी होती है कि वो उनको आई थिंक 100 से आई थिंक 100 साल लग जाते हैं उनको, जो है पूरा दिल्ली से एक्सटेंड करने के अंदर। दिल्ली के आस-पास जो रेजिस्टेंस थी बहुत फियर्स मिली थी, तो बार-बार डिफीट किया गया था, ठीक है? जैसे भी नाम आते हैं ना, ये इल्तुतमिश और वो सब सारे, जो उन सबको डिफीट किया गया था। तो मालवा डायनेस्टी है, जो दिल्ली की थी, और जो अलाउद्दीन खिलजी और वो सब, सबको एक-एक बहुत बार डिफीट किया गया था, पर प्रॉब्लम क्या थी कि वो लोग रिइंफोर्समेंट्स लेके वापस दोबारा आते थे, तो वो उसकी प्रॉब्लम होती थी।
बिल्कुल। तो हम इसमें जानेंगे कि हमें जो नहीं बताया गया है, दैट पीपल हैव बीन नॉट टोल्ड, दैट द डिफीट्स व्हिच वर देयर, they were a culmination of a 100 year 200 year struggle of native warriors. So ऐसा नहीं था, it was not that the invaders came and they won at the first attempt. It took 300 years for them to actually penetrate the northern frontier and came and conquer Delhi. Okay, so that lost history, that unknown history which was hidden from us for so many years, it has now been uncovered. So we're going to uncover a new chapter of this lost and hidden history with our reading today. So Shekhar, over to you.
थैंक यू। तो आज हम सेकंड चैप्टर चालू करेंगे राणा कुमल के बारे में, जो कि थे बप्पा रावल के सक्सेसर, ठीक है? ये डायरेक्ट डिसेंडेंट थे 4-5 जनरेशन के बाद में। तो चालू करते हैं। ट्रैवल कुम्मन टू द डिवावरर ऑफ अरब इन्वेडर्स। इनका जो था, जो लाइफ स्पैन जो बोला जाता है, या जो इनका रूलिंग था, वो 820 से 860 तक जाता है सीई में। Kummal was a direct descendant of great Bappa Rawal after a gap of 4 to 5 generations between them. There have been three recorded Kummans in Mewar between the 8th and 10th centuries. All three were instrumental in defeating Arabs during their time. The most remarkable and courageous were the battles of Kumman II. The recorded historical details of the times of Kumman are very patchy, and whatever little we know about the great ruler comes from a great literary creation, Kumman Raso, containing 5,000 couplets in the Rajasthani language and its various dialects available in the Devanagari script, giving a detailed description of the war of Kumman with Arab invaders. सो बेसिकली हम हमारे पास में इंफॉर्मेशन, सो जो सेम केस हमारे पास में, हाँ, हर किंग या हर डायनेस्टी के बारे में है मिडिवल एज में, वो सेम केस यहाँ पे भी दोहराया जाता है कि हमारे पास में रिकॉर्ड्स नहीं है, जो प्रिजर्व नहीं है। ठीक है, क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम क्या होती थी कि रिकॉर्ड्स जैसे हमारे थे ना, लीव्स में होते थे, और दूसरा था कि टेम्पल स्ट्रक्चर्स में होते थे। लीव जो उसके अंदर लीफ टाइप बुकलेट्स होती थी, तो उनको तो ये लोग जला देते थे इन्वेडर्स, और अ, अ, जो टेम्पल्स होते थे उनको डिस्ट्रॉय कर देते थे। दोनों जो है, वो जो हमारे पास में सोर्सेस थे उनको खत्म हो जाते थे। पर हमारे पास में जो लोकल जो फोकलोर्स है उनमें वो लोग हमेशा जिंदा रहते थे। इनके जो भी ग्रेट बैटल्स और ग्रेट वर्क्स होते थे, वो हमेशा ज़िंदा रहते थे, ठीक है? तो हम
Exact,
उससे
yeah,
काफ़ी सब
Shekhar.
कुछ निकाल सकते हैं, इनके पोएम्स में भी
Yes,
रहते थे।
Shekhar. So
हुँ,
it's very important. Correct. We had actually talked about this, the oral history, previously. Previous day, correct. We were reading the corporate history of ancient India, the corporate life in ancient India, where we had talked about the oral
यस,
history is very important in indigenous historical documentation. The Aboriginals talk about this oral history, and the modern anthropology, the modern archaeology do not actually accept oral history as historical in its nature. They think it's mythology. Okay, but that is something which is very important. What Shikha is talking about is that the records would be burnt by the invaders, but our ancestors found a way, to actually continue to narrate what happened to them via the oral history. Okay, and that is something which is very
हुँ,
important in the context of documenting what happened in our past, as historically. Go ahead, Shekhar.
हाँ, यस। A Jain Muni saint, Dalpati Vijay, is credited with the creation of Kumman Raso, but there is a dispute about the exact time when the Muni penned it. We shall leave the debate to historians and focus on what is largely agreed upon by most historians as the life and the work of Kumantu. Kumantun's reign is believed to have lasted from c. 820 to 860, though different historians calculate the years slightly different from each other, but largely there is a consensus on this. When the news of Bapa's death reached Arabia, the then Caliph sent Hasim to invade India. Hasim came to India by Gujarat's sea route and continued northward through Rajasthan, where he achieved some initial successes. But the Nagabhatta, the king of Binmal, a principality southwest of Chittor, and Kumantu entered into an alliance to take on Hasim. They were regularly informed about Hasim's movement by their spies, and a major battle ensued in which Arabs were crushed and driven away for a few decades. So they were continuously fighting. I think the better. I think Sindh was the western Sindh part was lost. by that time, I think.
Yeah,
So
Shekhar.
the Eastern
Yeah,
Sind
Shekhar.
would have been yes.
Yeah, there's a one question. Okay, aren't so this Vikramaditya Verma? Thank you for your comments. I think it's very important comment. But aren't those often mythologized like Chhatrasal, Prithviraj, Rasa? So correct. So, but the question is that they they are based on true historical events, and we all see the
Mm.
human brain, the human mind will not remember which date what happened. The human mind will be able to remember if it is composed in a poetry fashion with some additional stories added to it to create it more lucrative for the people to actually remember and like. If you like a song, you will get the lyrics even after 5 years because you like the song. So when it comes to
Mm.
oral history cannot be that Akbar and some other ruler was died at that day. Nobody will remember it. But if you weave a story around that date, that event, that will be carried forward from generation to generation as a story, okay, as a poetry. But that poetry is not mythology. The poetry is derived from historical events. So yes, we need to do the research, we need to do the archaeology to find out what happened, but we cannot just say that 100% of the story is false, or it cannot be proven. That's the content. Yeah,
Mm. Yes,
exactly,
and
you
we
are
can
you
also
are
take
absolutely.
example of Bali. We can also take example of Bali Jatra. If we had not received the taken out archaeological evidence of the naval presence uh, or the naval voyage from Bali to sorry, out Odisha to Bali, we would have thought it's some kind of festival. There is always a reason for festival, so we can also connect to that.
Yeah, Shekhar, go ahead with the lead.
Yes. It was during Kuman's reign that massive infighting was rampant among the Arab tribes regarding the claims to the Islamic Caliphate. Around this time, a general of Caliph, uh, Al-Mamun, by the name of Muhammad, son of Khurasan, raided India. He was different from Muhammad of Ghazni and constituted a major act of vandalism committed by the Arabs on India. The chief objective of Kuman Raso is to celebrate the resistance put up on the occasion of Mahmud's invasion of India with a massive army. Kuman Raso chronicles the princes who aided Kuman, the bulwark of Hindu faith. The composer of Raso depicts Kuman as a defender of the Crimson Standard of Mewar, who treated Mahmud's demand for tribute with utter contempt. After a ferocious onslaught in which the barbarians is pursued, driven back and discomfited in the plains, he returned triumphant with Muhammad held captive. The greatest tribute to Kumman is his leadership, which united 40 royal houses from Kashmir to Rameswaram and who unitedly defeated the formidable Arab army. Never in the Indian history had such a formidable and large union of armies materialized as under Kummantu. Colonel James Todd describes all these houses in detail in his book Annals and Antiques of Rajasthan. He writes, from Ghazni came the Galut, the Tak from Asir, from Madoel, the Chauhans, the Chaluk from Rairgad, from Satbinder, the Jiskera, Kaivari from Mandor, from Mangalore, the Makwanas, the Kachachawas from Narwar, Kulams from Sanchor, Gaurs from Ajmer, the Tanwars from Delhi, from Patan, the Chowaras, Deras from Soroi, from Jalor, the Sonigoras, from Gurugran, the Kechi, the Jado from Junagadh, and from Kannauj the Rathods. So these I think are the places from where all the royal houses and their principal, I think their armies came. So they are the
Yes,
names.
yes.
Next, the Todd. Yes, the Todd describes the lineage and range of each of these royal houses with whatever information he could gain access to. Reading through inscription and recorded Hindu annals, the Islamic records of these times were virtually non-existent. Though Dr. Ram Gopal Mishra has tried to dig out the truth of Hindu resistance to Islam from 6th century to 12th century in a meticulous manner. Amarya Vyasam describes Kuman's army in the following words: 1 lakh Rawats, 30 lakh horsemen, 7 lakh infantry, 9,000 elephants, and 1,000 drums were assembled under Kuman. There is little doubt that this is a grossly exaggerated version of the numbers, but it can be said safely that it was a huge army that took on the Arabs. Yeah, the numbers were greatly exaggerated. Think, but I think we could have filled that much. I think uh,
I
we
don't
could
think
have
it's
filled that much
exaggerated.
army,
See,
but
I
I
don't
think
think it is
it's too large.
exaggerated because correct. India, India was like China. India was like correct. The one of the most populous places in on earth at that time, comparatively.
There's that, but the problem क्या है इसके अंदर कि हमारा जो मैन पावर टू जो सोल्जर रेशियो है ना वो बहुत कम है 1% के
Correct.
आसपास भी नहीं है
Yes,
ठीक है
yes. Because
तो
correct. हमारे
उसकी
पास
वजह
तो
से हमारे जो
see,
नंबर होंगे ना वो
hmm.
हमारे कम होंगे
See, in terms of
और प्रॉब्लम क्या है
percentage, it
कि
would be
ये है
less.
ना सब हाँ
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. See, in terms of percentage, it will be less, but in terms of number overall, it will be great because we have a large population, very very large population from millennia and millennia onwards. Correct.
वो तभी होगा जब साथ में आए सब सब साथ में आओ ना तब वो ज्यादा हो
Mm,
जाएंगे अगर वो एक एक करके जैसे हमारे में क्या होता है कि फ्रैक्चर्ड हो गए थे ना तो क्या सबके पास
mm.
थोड़े थे सब वैसे अगर साथ में लाओ तो हमारे पास हमें से ज्यादा थे पर प्रॉब्लम थे कि हमारे पास बटे हुए इतने थे ना कि हमारे पास कम थे उस हिसाब से
Yes,
तो
correct,
ये
correct. You're
आर्मी
absolutely correct.
मेरे ख्याल से बना सकते थे पर बना तो सकते थे पॉसिबल है पर मैं बोलूंगा फिर भी एग्जैजरेटेड है इतना नहीं वो लोग लेके आ पाएंगे हाँ,
See that is something which is correct. Like nor we can actually refute, nor we can support because we are not the
हाँ,
experts and nor we have done the research. So we will
हम्म,
take whatever is on the book itself. So if the audience wants to verify
यस
the
यस
number, they can do their own research. But nor we can say it is exactly right or exactly wrong. So we are rereading what is written on the book. So
यस यस
everybody are free to assume whatever they feel like. Okay, you can do your own research. Like if you require, okay, this number doesn't look good, do your own research. That's the thing is that we have to do and dig up our history and see whether it's correct or not. Go ahead, Shekhar.
यस Unfortunately, Islamic murderers destroyed the two most important means of recording history by Hindu historians and kings. All books in universities like Nalanda and Takshashila were burnt, and the pillars and some stone inscriptions were lost along with the plunder of Hindu temples. The mindless hatred of this imperialist against civilization has almost completely blacked out the records of the crucial era from 7th century to
Shekhar,
12th century.
Shekhar. Sorry for
Most of
interjection.
huh,
Yeah, Shekhar, sorry for interjection. Very important point the author is raising here. If you remember our podcast with Utpal Kumar that we did on Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Just 2 days
hmm,
ago, one day ago, where I had asked this question. I said that somebody, not me, somebody audience asked this question, and the author has mentioned that we as a native Hindu population, like a native population. Okay, so the whole world, from Africa to South America to North America to Europe to parts of Asia, Africa, everything has been Abrahamized. Okay, so the Abrahamic faith systems have actually taken over. We are the only surviving edifice of a golden era, and he mentions that we have survived as a miracle, and it was our destiny to actually survive. Okay, this brutal onslaught which we have suffered from Europe to Africa, from Europe and from Middle East. So it's very important that we can still record our history despite the burning of the books, despite the temple destructions, despite whatever has happened. We are still survive and we have reading today. That is a miracle, and we should believe in that miracle that one day we will reverse what has happened. Go ahead.
Yes, yes. We will definitely do that. Even if we don't do anything else, we would do that much on that much for sure. Hmm. Most of the old cities and dwellings have become extinct now with time due to the temporal decay and incessant Islamic invasions. Yet, the fact that the armies from entire Bharatavarsha assembled under Kuman to fight Arabs bel- belies the belief that Hindus never fought unitedly. Within 100 years of Papa, Hindus were again ready to unitedly halt the march of Islamic bigotry. Kuman's defeat of Muhammad was conclusive, and since it was the army of the Caliph of Islam, it completely demoralized the Arab invaders. Mahmud was held captive under very humiliating conditions by Kuman. He was let go after extracting heavy penalties from Arabs. Uh, Kuman is documented to have fought 24 battles all over northern and western India to destroy Arab garrisons and uproot all remnants of Islamic invasion invaders up to Iran and Afghanistan. It was a sad reflection on the lack of pride and enterprise in the modern Hindu community that a leader as important as Kuman has been almost erased from the history of our great civilization. It is because of the kings like Kuman that Hindus constitute the most ancient race existing in the world today. British historian and thinker Sir Arnold Toynbee had worked extensively on ancient civilization and documents, recording that approximately 25 ancient civilizations have become extinct and lie buried under the sands of time. Among the four surviving vis-a-vis Western, Islamic, Hindu, and Far East, the oldest living civilization is the Hindu civilization. We cannot be grateful enough to kings like Kumantu that we are still thriving and form 25% of the global population 15% of the global population today. That's true.
Absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely.
Kuman put an end. Yes, Kuman put an end to Arab invasions permanently, and thus saved even the Far East and China from the murderers of radical Islam. One can only imagine the global consequences of an Arab victory in India. If India had capitulated to Islam, there is little doubt that the entire world would have been Islamized. This fear of Islam reaching China and Far East is documented in the travels of Chinese Kong, who refers to Lalitaditya Muktapida of Kashmir and says that Muktapida was in alliance with the ruler of central India, Yashovarman, and together they blocked the five passes leading to Tibet. I think this also debunked the myth that the we did not do
E-
alliances with each other, because
Exactly,
alliances were
exactly.
quite common in those parts. Yes.
Yeah, if you see that mandala theory of Chanakya, correct? So that if there is your neighbor kingdom, that will not be your friend, but the kingdom just after that would be your friend. So this mandala theory, so correct, like This is something which is commonplace at that time, so you would never have like a friendly relation with your neighbor, but you will have alliances with other people around. So that's how the warfare worked, how the like rajniti worked at that time.
Hmm. There is also wait. There's no the more powerful your neighbor s- one of your neighbor you if one of your neighbors is more powerful, you will focus on the powerful one first, then you would do focus on the rest. For the meantime, you would form alliances with the ones that are also threatened by most powerful one. So in this case, the Arabs would play the role of the antagonist in this scenario, because they are invading everywhere, so everyone is not happy with them.
Exactly correct. So
So there's that.
they will form alliances accordingly.
Mm. Yes, it is well documented that Arab Caliph had to divide their forces into two main streams to attack Europe towards the west and India towards the east. If Bharat was to be overrun by Islamic murderers, the Caliph would have singularly focused on the western invasions. It would have been only a matter of time before West would have been subjugated too. Yeah, that part is true, because the West in those times the West would have was a like even the Arabs were superior to them in every way. The West, because they were like they were the most barbaric people in the world at that time. The Western, the European people. So it would have been very easy for Arabs to subjugate them, because they were not even technologically advanced. So all they were doing was
Exactly.
killing each other there. Mm. Yeah. When the entire world is aware of and celebrates the Battle of Towers fought in 732 between Charlemagne and the Umayyad Caliphate, we have ourselves relegated our heroes like Kumman and Bappa Rawal into oblivion. While there are innumerable movies made on the crucial role played by Joan of Arc, Richard the Lionheart, and the Plagueis of Spain in stalling westward onslaught of Islam, just as books and literature have been written to keep their memory burning in the human psyche, it is grossly unfair and tragic that the heroes like Kuman have almost been erased from our history, though their contributions are as crucial, if not greater, than their European counterparts in saving mankind. It is also a commentary on the poor maintenance of records on the part of Hindu scholars that such a great legend do not even own a recorded history in their name. It was only a British officer, Colonel James Todd, who wrote his exhaustive book on the history of Rajasthan, to whom we owe the memory of Kuman. Though it, uh, though it must be said that in all fairness to the foresight and perseverance of the Hindu kings and priests throughout the ages, the original script of Kuman Raso is still kept in the original at Pune Museum as of today. Samadhi of
Hmm.
this is the Samadhi of the Kumantu, and the resting place where he was. Think his last right turn here. The Hindus owe it to their great forefathers who fought the Asuras and Mlechas so violently as to be recorded in the Hindu annals. We must never forget the sacrifices of these great kings and instead keep their history alive through research and meticulous documentation of the stories of these great monarchs. During his time, Kuman became a household name in Rajasthan, like that of Caesar in Rome. In Mewar, even today, if you take a false step or even sneeze, you will hear someone exclaim, "May Kuman help you." Hmm. I don't know about the everywhere, but I think in Mewar, definitely you can find that. I think. because he is from the Mewar part, no? He's from the Mewar part of the Rajasthan. So yeah, the royal rulers have to battle many contradictions in governing a state. Kuman was advised by the advisors in his court to hand over the reins of Mewar to his younger brother Jograj towards the end of his reign. But Jograj proved to be a greedy and myopic ruler. Kuman had to come back from his retirement to dethrone him and banish him from his kingdom. Kuman slew all the advisors of Jograj who had advised him to make the move in the first place. Years later, Kuman was murdered by his son Mangal. Mangal was evicted from the kingdom by his chieftains, but he managed to establish a separate kingdom later. वाह ये सब चल रहा है इधर यहाँ पे पॉलिटिक्स कोर्ट पॉलिटिक्स हाँ Bhartari Bhatt Bhartari Bhatt succeeded Kuman with the consent of the Samants, and during his reign Mewar's territory added vast expanses. Bharta Bhartari Bhatt had 13 sons, and each of them was settled in Malwa and Gujarat with independent possessions. They came to be known as Betwada Galots. Betwada. I think ये सुना सुना नाम है. पेटवाड़ा है तो मतलब आई थिंक नॉर्दर्न गुजरात और उस जो एरिया है उधर है नॉर्दर्न गुजरात और सदर्न
Mhm.
राजस्थान में 10 हाँ ये जो बॉर्डर जो एरिया था ना जहाँ पे ज्यादातर फाइट होती थी तो
हाँ
ये
हाँ
उसकी बात कर रहे हैं जो उदयपुर है आज और जो है ना वो रीजन वो वाला उज्जैन और जो ये नॉर्दर्न राजस्थान जो है ना पाटन और वो सब उधर उधर की बात कर रही है
अच्छा
हम्म, हाँ क्योंकि ज्यादा अंदर नहीं जा सकते आप उधर पहले से स्टैब्लिश
हम्म
किंगडम थे पहले से इसलिए Thus,
गॉट
the Mewar rebels kept fighting and defeating Islamic imperialism for 500 consecutive years from 7th century, 12th century. Though this important anop has been erased from the collective memory of Hindus. The biggest defeat of Arab Islamic imperialism happened here in Bharatavarsha. Our intelligent ancestors recognized the true nature of these rapists and murderers and fought them tooth and nail. After 500 years of failed attempts by Arab at converting Hindus to Islam, the Afghans, Turks, and Central Asian tribes like Uzbek, Kazakh, Tatars, etc., started invading Bharat. These were certainly more brutal and immoral than Arabs. The resistance to these offshoots of Arabic Islam is an altogether different story. Great kings like Kuman were the only reason why Arabs had to face defeat in Bharatvarsha. We would do well to remember that a period of 500 years of relative tranquility passed from 7th century to 7th to 12th century, when Hindu kings slaughtered the Arabs at regular intervals. To forget such great like Kuman is not only unfair to them but also demonstrates our pathetic ingratitude. To bring alive his memory in the Hindu consciousness will be true homage to Raval Kumar. Yeah, this chapter
hmm.
ends here. Hmm.
Yeah, so I think very interesting chapter we have. Okay, so
Hmm.
we learned so correct we learned about how the this narrative of Hindus never resisted, and Hindus never came together to fight the invaders, are something which is unfounded in so many ways. And there has been oral history, documented history. It has been already there, but nobody cares to read about them. And that's why
Yes.
it's important that people who are watching this, we have to support the author in so many ways.
Hmm.
Not even buying a book is just one part of it. We have to talk about this in whatever form. When you talk to your family, when you talk to your friends, when you talk and have a community talk, buy this book and have a community reading about it. Okay. Only then it will become part of our society itself. Because unfortunately, or whatever may be the case, This book is not going to be taught in the schools, in the colleges. Okay. So it is, we are trying our best to actually get this history to people who have not read this. So we are reading this book
Mm.
hoping that few hundred people might listen to this. Okay, but that might not be the all, because we do not have the ability to reach 2 million people. But people who are reading it, if you can buy the book and you can have a community reading session with your family, with your friends, so that you can tell them that whatever is taught in the schools, that Hindus never gave a resistance, the Hindus never united to fight the invaders, it's completely wrong. Here is the alternate history that you can read. So for that
Mm.
reason,
We
yeah,
can, I think we can also read next chapter.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
Before
not
we
much
go to
long.
next chapter,
Mm.
yeah, before we go to next chapter, again I will share this website, Maharanas. Yeah, maharanas.com.ind. You, if you want, you can go ahead and buy this book. Okay, that will help a lot, the authors and also the narrative part of it. You will be able to teach people, you have to learn more about our own history. On that front, go ahead, Shekhar, and read the part 2. It's very interesting.
Yes, yes, yes. Uh, we would be reading next chapter. I think,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, Rawal Jaitra Singh, destruction of Nagda and defeat of Iltutmish. The life and works of Rawal Jaitra Singh is critical for three reasons. First, Rawal Jaitra Singh forms a vital link in the saga of Hindu resistance to Turkish and Afghan invaders in the 13th century. He thus provides a crucial continuity to the victorious saga of Bappa, Kumman, and Shakti Kumar against the Islamic invaders. Second, Jaitra Singh Jaitra Singh's battles provide the perfect response in response to exposing the lie called Delhi Sultanate. Jaitra Singh waged a protracted conflict with slave rulers Shams ad-Din Iltutmish, lasting for 10 years from 1224 to 1234. Hmm, think, 8 minutes. Yeah. The third and most important reason. Both Todd and Shamal Das failed to make even a mention of this great king in their works because most excavation, uh, excavation, excavations and research around his era happened much later. The Chirwa inscriptions of 1273 forms the basis of a lot of truth that could be ascertained about Jaitra Singh. दादा क्या हो रहा है आपके उससे
Yeah,
कनेक्टिविटी
yeah, yes, yes, I'm just, मैं म्यूट कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ Dr. Gopinath Sharma has mentioned in his book Rajasthan Ek Itihas Ki Srot, an inscription located at the outer gate of New Temple, located 8 miles north of Udaipur in the Pratapgarh Tehsil of Chittorgarh, giving important information about descendants of Bappa Rawal, Padma Sima, Jatra Sima, Taj Sima, and Samar Sima. It is now known as Chirwa inscription. In the Vienna Oriental and Indian antiquary journals, articles are published regarding the Chirwa and Mount Abu inscription, providing valuable details about Jatra. Based on these sources, we try to tell the story of this great Raval of Mewar. At the Second Battle of Taren, 1192, the first significant defeat of Hindu king Prithviraj Chauhan happened at the cruel hands of Muhammad Ghori. These changed the contours of Hindu-Muslim conflicts in Bharat irreversibly. Ghori killed Prithviraj and appointed uh, Qutub ud-Din Aibak as a governor in northern India. Aibak was a slave general with Gauri. Since Gauri had only a daughter as his child, Aibuk died in 1210 while playing polo. I don't think that he was playing polo because polo was invented in Manipur, so there was no polo at that time.
Hmm.
There's that. And Shamsuddin Iltutmish became the new ruler of Aibak's territory. Itu, uh, It, Iltutmish was a ruthless Islamist who amassed a huge army and started destroying Hindu kingdoms of Ranthambore and Mandor. He also destroyed many educational institutions in Rajasthan and turned towards Mayar. He was comforted by Raja Raval Jaitar Singh of Mewar, who was ruling a beautiful temple city of Nagda at that time. Nagda was situated 20 kilometers north of present-day Udaipur, and it was also one of the twin capitals of Mewar, the other being Chittor. Hmm. The legend has it that Nagda had 999 Shiva, Vaishnava, and Jain temples at that time. During Jaitar Singh's reign, Mewar also became an important center for trade in silver. Actually, I think Mewar had a gold mine back then. The Mewar region, the kingdom of Mewar had a gold mine. I think uh, in India, all of India only they had a gold mine at that time. I think. Uh,
Oh, correct. The Golconda, correct. Golconda,
I think there
Golconda is a
was
correct. Diamond mine, correct. Golconda is a diamond mine.
या वो दूसरा एक और है ना वो कौन है सोनार गोल्ड माइन समथिंग कुछ था ना दादा उसका क्या है
Kolar.
कोलर
In
वो कभी चालू हुई
Karnataka,
थी कुछ पता है
Karnataka,
उसका
Karnataka. Hmm.
तो लेट चालू हुई कि पहले चालू हुई थी वो
That we need to check. We need to check the dates. अभी
हम्म
exactly तो date नहीं
तो
पता है.
ये काफी पुराना है मेवाड़ वाला तो काफी पुराना है गोल्ड माइन जो है ना आई थिंक अभी
अच्छा.
अभी भी हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा अभी कंटिन्यू पता नहीं उसमें पर ये हो रहा था 15 सेंचुरी तक तो हो रहा था आई थिंक जितना मुझे पता है उसके बाद में भी आई थिंक कंटिन्यू रहा है हम्म, फिर नेक्स्ट पढ़ रहा हूँ Iltutmish
Go ahead.
set out to destroy Mewar via Ajmer. The Chauhans were still weak, so were easily subjugated. Iltutmish destroyed the famous Sun Temple at Nandeshma. During those times, Magh Brahmins were known as great astrologers and used to build these sun temples to predict events of the year, and these temples were great education centers for astrology. It is said that Nandeshma Sun Temple was the first temple of Mewar to be destroyed. The Mewar forces of Jaitar Singh, led by Pamraj Tantar, attacked Iltutmish in the valley connecting Gogonda with Nagda in 1229. This is also known as the Battle of Bhutala. It was one of the fiercest battles of Rajasthan, in which thousands from either side was killed. Tantar died defending his king, but succeeded in salvaging Jaitar Singh from Islamic army. Jaitar Singh took refuge in a house in Nagda, and Iltutmish burned down the entire city of Nagda, razing each and every temple to the ground. Many Chauhans, Solankis, Parmars, Charans, and tribal bills wreaked havoc on the Muslim army. Jaitar Singh was surrounded but escaped unhurt. Iltutmish's army too was nearly decimated and he was forced to retreat. The destruction of Nagda is one of the most brutal and yet most neglected assault of Islamists on Hinduism in the subcontinent. Each and every idol was ordered to be broken in a way it couldn't be rebuilt. There is a famous line in Mewar which bears witness to this mindless plunder. Alat, Alatyare mas mur, murtaau बांधा आवे जेतिनी पावे तो नगदो हलगावे आई थिंक लास्ट लाइन ये बोल रहे कि एक मिनट रुको
Yeah, which language is this? This is
मारवाड़ी
Shekhar?
मारवाड़ी
Marwari language.
मारवाड़ी हाँ मेवाड़ी मारवाड़ी
Okay, Mewari Marwari. Okay, that's a new thing.
हम्म, अरे वो डायलेक्ट में वो बोल रहा हूँ डायलेक्ट में फर्क होता है ना तो बोलने का
Hmm,
उसमें वो
hmm,
आता है
hmm, hmm,
थोड़ा
hmm,
फर्क
hmm,
रहता है
hmm, hmm. Go ahead, read it.
ये बोल रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे हालत मुझे पूरा इसका एसेंस नहीं पता चल रहा, पर वो बोल रहे हैं कि वो आते हैं किसी की, आई थिंक किसी की बात कर रहा है कि आते हैं और फिर सबको आग लगा के चले जाते हैं।
ओके।
सिटी की बात कर रहे हैं, नगदिया जो है ना, नागदो, नगद उस सिटी की बात करेंगे, उसमें हलगाँव यानी आग लगाना होता है उधर। तो ये आग लगा के चले जाते हैं।
गॉट इट,
तो
गॉट
वो
इट।
है। हाँ, तो वो है। Soldiers of Iltutmish can only fight with idols. When they couldn't find Jaitar Singh, they burned down Nagda. जो कि मतलब इसका वो सार है, कि मतलब ट्रांसलेशन है नीचे इसका।
ओके, ओके, ओके।
हम्म। Invaluable sculptures and historical inscriptions were lost in Iltutmish's mad desire to destroy Hindu temples. The ruins of Nagda today are mute reminders of the bruised soul of Mewar at the hand of Muslim looters. The sheer beauty and magnanimity of these ruins is enough to enlighten what majestic structures had been lost to this evil mafia. Chaitra Singh got the Bagela pond constructed in the memory of martyrs of Butala. Eminent historian Dr. Sri Krishna Jagnu too had described this battle and its aftermath in his book. I think these are temple pillars. This one, and this is partially destroyed temple thing, Nagda. Hmm. Almost all leftist and jihadi historians have blunted their pens, writing lies about the benevolence of Muslim invaders and presenting the lie that the destruction of Hindu temples is exaggerated by awakened Hindus. Someday, the leftist thug masquerading as historian should be taken on a tour of the ruins of Nagda to witness the scale of plunder that the followers of Islam had unleashed on Hindus. Even then, they would deny that this was done by the wind and natural forces. The wind
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
blown away the
They,
temple structure.
yeah. If there is any award given, Nobel Prize given for hypocrisy and being dishonesty, they would win the Nobel Prize for next 100 years.
Ha. No, they even Nobel Prize would be feel noble after being given to them. It would be his
Yes, yes.
honor. Hmm. Maybe some amount of shame would make them see the lies they have been peddling as history to the masses of this nation in sputter. Uh, yet, I think this is the accurate description of this man, slave who destroyed Nagda. Hmm. At that time, Gujarat was under the Solanki king Bhimadev, who was also referred to as a Bhola Bhim, meaning naive Bhim. Because of his young age and later his indifferent rule, the real power centers were father-son duo of Baghel Rajputs, Rana Lavan Prasad and his son Virdhawal. Gujarat was a declining power at that time, and Iltutmish had his eyes set on Gujarat. Veer Dhaval had reached out to Jaitra Singh of Mewar and Som Singh, Uday Singh, and Dhar- Dharwash of Mewar for a military alliance before the destruction of Nagda. Mewar's rival Samant Singh had been defeated by Gujarat's Kitu Chauhan 4 generations ago, and Mewar had been reduced to being a vassal of Gujarat during the subsequent reigns of Kumar Singh and Padam Singh. Jethro Singh had shaken off this allegiance to Gujarat during the earlier years of his reign, and hence he turned down the request for alliance. Meanwhile, Iltutmish had amassed wealth from his loot of Rajasthan and started uh, engaging even Hindu soldiers to his side in order to become a formidable force. Jethro Singh has miscalculated the strength of Iltutmish and was defeated. He lost many valuable Rajputs and Nagda was completely destroyed. Hmm. Jethro Singh retreated to Chittor and sent emissaries to Veer Dhawal to fight Iltutmish jointly. The Hindus finally regrouped and attacked Iltutmish at an unknown place in Mewar and defeated him in 1234. Iltutmish died shortly after his defeat in 1236. I think he died 2 years after his defeat. Hmm. So even that this battle is not known why he died. So
Hmm.
it's like I think the Iskandar. He had gone
Got it.
back because he was tired of conquest. It's like that logic. It's not like
Hmm.
उसको मार के भगा दिया था जाते-जाते मर गया था वो तो। तो वो नहीं बताना पर हाँ। This was the first defeat of the so-called Delhi Sultanate by a king of Mewar. The Cherwad inscription describes this victory in the word Jethra Singh protected the earth and proved Agatsya to the sea of Turkshah army. Hmm. The inscription is referring to the Hindu sage Agatsya, who is believed to have drunk an entire ocean. Jethra Singh thus managed to save the silver trade of Mewar and recovered his kingdom from the brink of annihilation. Nagda was, however, lost permanently, and Jethra Singh was prompted to declare Chittor as the capital of Mewar. Jethra Singh is also recorded to have defeated a Muslim army of Sindh. The inscription describes this victory in these words: "The ghosts of Mewar army, intoxicated by the drinking blood of army of Sindh, praised the strength of Jethra Singh. G. H. Guha dug up Persian annals and believes that this Sindh army belonged to Jalaluddin, who defeated a Hindu king, Jai Singh of Thatta, in Sindh and invaded Gujarat. Jethra Singh intercepted him and en route to Gujarat and looted his wealth. Hmm. Yeah, because the Sindh, I think the Sindh route was open by that time, I think. So uh, there was northern route and there was southern route. So you would enter from Afghanistan, you would go from towards Delhi from the northern route, and you would go to Sindh from southern route, and you can invade. You can basically surround whole of Mewar from there. The
Yes.
final battle by Jethra Singh was with Nasiruddin Muhammad of Delhi in 1248. The fighting lasted 8 months, and Nasiruddin was forced to return to Delhi. If you notice a particular thing, yeah, they would always be forced to return because they had horses. No, they would run away. They would not
Hmm.
fight to death. They would always,
Hmm.
if they think they are defeated, they would sacrifice their whatever soldiers they can, and they would run away with horses. So
Hmm.
this is the failing, I think, of Hindu kings, that they would not anticipate the running of these invaders. Because even if you go as late as I think Vijayanagar, whenever the
Hmm.
Vijayanagar kings would defeat the Bahmani Sultanates, the
Hmm.
Bidar, Bijapur, and Ahmednagar, those
Hmm.
ones, they would always
Hmm.
defeat them, and the defeated king, the invaders would run away with their horses. So they can't
Hmm.
actually go after them because they would be using elephant rather
Hmm.
than
Hmm. Hmm.
cavalry. Even if they use cavalry, they don't know the routes and all those things. So yeah, it's a very
I
uh,
I think there is,
disadvantage
yeah, I
situation.
think, yeah, I think there is, correct, there is a discussion, an archive discussion on the Kushal Mehra show, where Abhijit Iyer, okay, Mitra Iyer, actually has talked about this. That I think from the Mahabharata period onwards, correct, we were actually quite advanced in terms of war technology, in terms of weaponry. But in the later stages, I think we lost the edge when it comes to actually fighting a war. Okay, and in terms of weapons, we did have weapons. We were actually brave enough to fight the wars. But I think the innovation did not keep pace, so that the other
No,
people were
I don't think the
having.
innovation is
Hmm.
to play has that much of a role. I think the more
Hmm.
important role would be the anticipation of the enemy's mind. He would not anticipate them running away. Like, say for example, a Hindu king would not run away from his army. Okay, he would rather die. But that is not the case with the invaders. They would sacrifice their soldiers because they are hired soldiers. They are not their men. They would hire mercenaries to invade. They would never build up local army because they didn't have the connection with the land. So they are not their
Correct.
men.
Correct.
They just
Mm-hmm.
like for example the slave dynasty. What are they
Mm-hmm.
doing there? They are not from here. So they would
Mm-hmm.
hire mercenaries from somewhere else and they would invade somewhere else. So it's like that. So they would not even hesitate a bit in sacrificing their men because they would not have to pay them. If they died, that's also good. If they win, that's also good because they would not have to pay if they died. The soldiers they hire.
Exactly.
So in
Exactly.
both situations they win. So they would run
Mm.
away for the most part. I think the problem was why are they allowing them to run away? Because they should have a contingent to force them to not run away, no? Because the same running case would have been happened all over wherever these invaders go. Yeah, they were wherever they were invading. The same mistakes the other kings were not making. Why were we specifically we are making the same mistakes? If even if you can't, I think. Mm, the chase them. I think you should have some alliance with a smaller kingdom, so they can. If they know that the battle is won,
Surround them.
they would chase. They would chase,
Surround them.
or
Correct.
they would
Mm.
block them from going
Yeah,
back.
multi-front attack. Correct. I think
Yes,
that what actually Marathas did. Correct. When they learned from that Marathas. Correct. They were
yes,
very
yes. The
shrewd
Marathas
warriors.
were very successful in this because they would not let them go back. They would kill them.
Hmm. Hmm.
They would not. They would not even let a single soldiers go away.
Hmm.
Because that would result in death of their kingdom. Because that's the
Exactly.
thing which happened with every other kingdom.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hmm. The uh, after fight beside fighting the Islamic invaders, Jaitar Singh also subjugated Tribhupal of Gujarat in 1242, as also the Chauhans of Nadal, Parmars of Malwa, and other smaller kingdoms surrounding Mewar before restoring the authority of his family. This great king was the ruler of Mewar for a very long time, relinquishing the throne to his son Tej Singh within his lifetime. Jaitar Singh died somewhere between 1253 and 61 due to natural causes at a ripe old age. Tej Singh was an equally aggressive and continued expansion of Mewar. He humbled the Visaldev of Gujarat. Tej Singh ruled till 1273 and his glorious son Samar Singh ruled Mewar for nearly 30 years. Samar Singh joined hands with rulers of Gujarat and defeated the slave ruler Gyan Ghisyasuddin Balban, pushing him back to Delhi. If you notice something, the Delhi has become a base of operation. So they would
Hmm.
launch raids from Delhi. If Delhi is captured, or if a separate army is set out Delhi, the Delhi would fall very easily. But I think they were not thinking in that long. They had accepted that Delhi has been lost, so it's not their
Hmm.
place. I think in their minds they have lost the Delhi, which is a very very big mistake. Because if you look at it, even today, if you see the Akhand Bharat map, you would you would see that after Afghanistan, we would not even go an inch from today's Afghanistan border, which is not true because uh, if you go by the historical Akhand Bharat, the western eastern part of Iran, whole of Iran, is Indian territory, and the whole of Tajikistan and the Samarkand and the Uzbekistan, the whole area is was under Indian control for the most of the millennium. It was only lost the last, I think, millennium. Before that, all those territories were Indian by culture and tradition. Even the I think uh, uh, whi- uh, which
Mm-hmm.
Muslims live in the
Well,
I think China. Yeah,
Uyghur,
Uyghur.
Uyghur, Uyghur,
Yeah,
Uyghur
the,
Muslim.
that Uyghur region that was also established by the Hindu kingdoms of Mauryans and all those. They were, I
Yes.
think, which one I'm not exactly remembering, but some one of the sons of the Mauryan emperors was sent there because of some political conflict in the court. So they were sent there to populate that region. So that
Mm.
region was also historically ours. So we are forgetting in our civilization memory that we are losing lands, and we are not even realizing what we are losing. Because if you go by historically, even the whole of Burma would have been under
Mm.
the Hindu influence rather than a
Yeah.
Chinese
The if you
mixed
remember
Chinese
that,
Indian influence.
yes, yes. If you remember the book that we have read, Ramayana in the
Hmm.
footprints in Southeast Asia, by Mrs. Anita Bose, she has
Hmm.
documented that even in the island of in islands in Philippines, you have Ramayana, and you have the Shiva temple in Vietnam. So this
Hmm.
whole Southeast Asia, and correct, the culturally Japan, even till today in Japan, they worship Saraswati and Lakshmi. So
Hmm.
this
Yes.
Southeast Asia and even the Pacific region, Japan, Philippines, this whole thing was a kind of a Hindu sphere of influence. It was there.
Yeah, and we are losing it, and I think we are not even doing anything to slow that down or reverse that process. Because even today, the titular king of Thailand has to have his coronation by a priest from
Uh,
Varanasi. So why
yeah.
can't we have some influence on him? It's like, what are we doing? Hmm. Let's go next. Jirwa inscription describes Samar Singh thus: he was like a lion in annihilating enemies, extremely courageous, luminous like moon, focused on his karma and intensely aware of his dharma. Samar Singh died in 1303 when Ratan Singh became the ruler of Mewar. The most vicious and sustained attack on Chittor was to be endured by young Ratan Singh, whose resistance to Alauddin Khilji has been forever enacted in the history of Hindu-Muslim conflict in the subcontinent. I think the Padmavat episode. I think this one was that one. Ratan Singh. Hmm. We thus uh, came to an end to this extremely crucial period of resistance to Islam by Hindus. With Prithviraj's murder, Islamic rule was established in the northern parts of Bharat by the Afghans and Turk slaves. Arab invasions were by now a thing of the past. Islam had well and truly arrived into the subcontinent after an incessant onslaught of 500 years. Mewar still managed to fend off this entrenched Islamic rule from Chittor, but couldn't do much beyond her borders. In the rest of the nation, Islamic states mushroomed in Sindh, Bengal, Bihar, etc. Rathors from Kannauj were forced to seek newer pastures in Marwar or Rajasthan, and Rajputs of Gwalior were driven out to seek shelter in Kachachawa kingdom of Ajmer. Thus, three clans of Ajmer, Marwar, and Mewar combined in Rajasthan to take on the Islamic invaders for next 400 years from 1300 to 1700. Rawal Jaitra Singh and Samar Singh, who became legends in the summer folklore of Rajasthan, continued to inspire resistance to Islamic invaders. The writer has immense satisfaction in penning this section on Rawal Jaitra Singh, whom Hindus have all but forgotten. Without Jaitra Singh, the slave dynasty would have rapidly Islamized our nation, for which we must look back with a lot of pride and gratitude. That, in spite of the reverses, the great Maharanas rose back from ashes of their destruction to defeat the Islamic zealots. If the creed of Islam has produced horrors of pillagers hell-bent on destroying civilizations and converting the Hindu by swords and jihad, then Hinduism too nurtured these glorious Mewar kings who rose to their to that challenge with passionate zeal and love for Dharma, pushing back these murderers for a relentless 1,000 years. I think the chapter has ended.
Yes. So I think this chapter is ended. Correct? Ended.
No, yes, yes, this chapter ended.
Yes. So we will start the next chapter in our next reading. Okay. And I don't think we have too many
Mm.
questions or anything else. So
If
yeah. So I
anyone
think
wants to join, they can. I think questions.
yeah. We don't see any questions. Okay. So I think yeah, it's been a good reading. It has been a crisp reading. Okay. So we'll continue our reading to next session as well. And
Mm.
again, people who are watching this, who are listening to this, the link is there in the description, and also the link is there in the chat. So people who want to buy the book and read it for themselves, okay, it's available as a ebook, also as a physical book. The author has its own website, maharanas.com, where you can go and buy the you can actually buy a signed copy from the author itself. So if you want a signed copy, Rishi has come. Hi Rishi. Hi Rishi.
Namaste, Dada. Namaste. Namaste to Shekhar as well. Was checking a lot of copies today, so
Mm.
couldn't be available
No
Namaskar.
at first.
no issues, no issues.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you have anything to add to our discussion? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, never ever knew about these names like Khuman and Chaitra Singh at all. These are something new which I got to know today. Uh, Courtesy to this
Yeah,
book and to the reading by Shekhar and you both, because we would have been totally ignorant of this whole history. Like it is so reserved within Rajasthan and those areas alone that we do not even get to have a glimpse of these information at all.
yeah. So that is our effort to actually read this book so that people who listen to our stream, so who are watching us, okay, they can actually learn a bit more about it, update their information, and feel proud of our ancestors who fought for 1,000 years. Okay, via generations and generations, they banded together to save Dharma. And we, as the Dr. Omindra Ratnu has mentioned in his various lectures and talks in multiple platforms, on podcasts, on interviews, that we remain Hindu because of them. So we should be grateful to their sacrifices, their valor, their warrior spirit, that we are alive today, and we should never
Yeah, yeah,
forget that.
absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. And this was actually highlighted by um, uh, one of our members, like the one who was there yesterday. So he said once, I remember that there were some interactions where our enemies, one set of enemies, those who are right now uh, in academia and so on and so forth, they really get rattled whenever our ancestors, like glories of our ancestors are mentioned. They really like seethe in anger. So and we can get to know like people who do not have memories of their ancestors, they really become bitter and have such tendencies like suffering from Tourette syndrome and abusing those who actually gain knowledge and experiences and are like focused in their life because of these stories especially.
Yes, So that would be, so the enemy would be within us, and the enemy would be outside us. So we have to fight both of them. The enemy within us is more dangerous, more important than, because you can identify your enemies who are outside us, but it's difficult to actually identify and fight enemies who are within us, living within us.
True, true, true. Absolutely, absolutely.
So thank you, Shekhar. Thank you, Rishi, for your valuable time and comments. Okay, we'll continue the reading next week as well. Next week again, we will be reading 2 or 3 books. Okay, and so people who are watching, do support us. Give us a subscribe, like our readings if you enjoy them. Okay, so that we can get more people, more authors to come and talk to us, more books we can read. So your support is very essential for us to survive and grow. So a request to everybody to subscribe to our channel, support us whatever way possible. If you can share this stream to people, to your friends who do not know about the real history, they would be helpful. They will be grateful to you. So on that note, we'll say goodbye to everyone. Jai Shri Ram, Vande Mataram.
Hmm.
Jai Shri Ram. Vande Mataram.